What if I told you that the person you see in the mirror isn't actually what others see? Psychology shows that most attractive people severely underestimate how they look. And the science? They're hiding in everyday interactions you probably ignore. Let's break down what psychology reveals about people who are far more attractive than they realize. Here's the truth most people miss. Attractiveness isn't just about symmetry or features. It's about energy, behavior, and psychological patterns that others pick up on instantly. And ironically, the people who obsess over their flaws are often the ones others find most magnetic. If you've ever felt invisible or doubted your appearance, this might completely change how you see yourself. Sign number 1. People hold eye contact longer. Ever notice strangers hold your gaze just a second too long? That's not random. Psychologists call this the lingering effect. When someone finds you attractive, their brain releases dopamine during eye contact, making them unconsciously want to extend the moment. If people frequently lock eyes with you, then quickly look away when you notice, or if conversations feel more intense because of sustained eye contact, you're likely more attractive than you think. Your brain is dismissing it as coincidence. Their brain is registering attraction. Sign number 2. Strangers are unusually helpful. Studies from the Journal of Social Psychology found that attractive people receive significantly more unprompted help in public settings. Someone holds the door even when you're far away. People go out of their way to answer your questions. Cashiers, baristas, or random strangers are friendlier to you than to others around you. You think people are just being nice. Psychology says they're responding to attractiveness bias, a cognitive shortcut where our brains associate beauty with likability and trustworthiness. If help appears without you asking, you're triggering that bias. Sign number 3. Friends downplay your appearance. Here's a dark one. If your friends make subtle comments that minimize your looks, "You're not that pretty," or brush off compliments others give you, psychology explains why. It's called social comparison anxiety. Research shows people unconsciously diminish attractive friends to protect their own self-esteem. If your close circle rarely hypes you up but strangers do, that imbalance reveals the truth. You're a threat they don't want to acknowledge. Sign number 4. You get complimented on uncommon features. You have such an interesting face. Your energy is different. There's something about you. These aren't lukewarm compliments. They're psychological tells. When people can't pinpoint exactly what makes you attractive, they default to vague praise. Psychologists call this the halo effect in reverse. Your attractiveness is so natural that others struggle to articulate it, so they focus on intangibles like energy, vibe, or presence. Sign number 5. People seem nervous around you initially. Does it feel like some people are awkward or overly formal when they first meet you? Stumbling over words, overthinking their responses, being unusually polite? That's attraction anxiety. Research shows that when someone perceives another person as highly attractive, their cortisol levels spike, triggering mild stress responses. They're not uncomfortable with you, they're nervous because you're attractive. Once they relax, the conversation flows, but that initial tension, that's your answer. Sign number 6. You rarely get asked out, but get stared at. This sounds backwards, but it's one of the strongest signs. Extremely attractive people often get approached less because of what psychologists call the beautiful person paradox. People assume you're already taken, out of their league, or too intimidating. So instead of approaching, they stare, they hover nearby, they create opportunities to talk but rarely make the first move. If you feel invisible in dating but catch people looking at you constantly, you're not being ignored, you're being admired from a distance. Sign number 7. Your photos get more engagement than your posts. On social media, if your selfies or photos of you consistently get more likes and comments than your actual content, that's not about your captions, that's about your face. Studies on Instagram engagement show that posts featuring attractive individuals receive 30 to 40% more interaction regardless of content quality. You think people care about what you wrote. Psychology says they stopped scrolling because of how you look. Sign number 8. People remember details about you. Someone brings up a story you barely remember telling them. They recall what you wore weeks ago. They remember your offhand comment about your favorite coffee. This isn't coincidence, it's the attention bias.
Research shows our brains allocate more cognitive resources to processing information about people we find attractive. If people remember small details about you while you forget entire conversations with them, your attractiveness is creating memory anchors in their minds. Sign number 9. Same-gender people are competitive or cold. If people of your own gender seem standoffish, colder, or slightly competitive without reason, that's social mirror theory in action. We subconsciously measure ourselves against people we perceive as attractive. Women might exclude other attractive women from conversations. Men might try to one-up other good-looking guys. It's not personal, it's psychological self-preservation. If your same-gender interactions feel slightly tense while opposite-gender ones feel warm, you're seeing the split screen of how attractiveness plays out. Sign number 10. You think you're just average-looking. Here's the ironic sign. If you genuinely believe you're average-looking, psychology says you're probably not. A study from the University of Chicago found that attractive people consistently rate themselves lower than others rate them. Why? Because you see your face every single day. Familial contempt breeds indifference. You focus on asymmetries and flaws. Meanwhile, everyone else sees the complete picture, the energy, the presence, the features working together. Your self-assessment is the least accurate measurement of your attractiveness. So here's what most people don't understand. Attractiveness isn't just in a mirror, it's in how people respond to you, how they remember you, and how they behave around you. Those signals have been there all along, you just weren't trained to recognize them. If even 3 of these signs sound familiar, you're not average, you're not invisible, you're probably far more attractive than your own mind allows you to believe. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. So, how many of these signs describe your life? Drop the number in the comments. And if you want to understand the psychology behind how people really see you, not the filtered version you show yourself, subscribe right now. Because here, we don't talk about surface-level motivation. We expose the psychology that actually explains why people think, feel, and react the way they do. And that's the truth most people are too afraid to tell you.